Marhaba, and welcome to the Matrix Green Pill, where real people connect.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Matrix Green Pill podcast. I'm your host, Hilmarie Hutchison, and today I'm excited to welcome a $1 million business entrepreneur, Gaziza Yespayeva. Gaziza is originally from Kazakhstan and started her journey as a young woman with big dreams. At 17, she started her first business, and through hard work and dedication, and many ups and downs, I hear, she is now recognized as the girl who created millions. Super exciting. Let's hear from Gaziza herself. Gaziza, welcome, and thank you so much for joining me today.
Hi, thank you so much for inviting me here because this is my first podcast in English and I'm a little bit scared, but I think everything will be okay.
Yes, you can relax.
Yeah, thank you.
To start off, could you please tell us a bit about yourself and what you do?
My name is Gaziza and I'm 30 years old. Now I'm living in Dubai, moved in here 8 months ago, and now I'm starting 2 business projects. So one of them is Not School of Drums with my partners, and second one is girls treatment salons, healthcare massage salons. So we are opening 2 network chains here in Dubai, and we are directly looking for opening the chain in the Middle East.
Sounds really exciting. Now let's go back to your childhood. I believe you made a vow that you would never work for anyone. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And walk us through some of the pivotal moments that shaped your determination and drive.
This is a long story, you know. My mother divorced with my father when I was 1.5 years old. From that time, my grandma with her husband took me to raise. And until my 10 years old, I called them like my mom and daddy, and I was living with them. And we lived well, but in my 7 years, some of circumstances happened that led us to state where grandmother and I had nothing to eat. This is the separate long story like I told right now, but this was the decision, and this is what the result. When I thought at the age of 7, I told myself that I would never work for anyone and I will make my own money. I will have my own business. This was the time when I make this decision for me. Now it's fashionable to call it like feminism, but I was a very young girl and I didn't know what is it. I decided that I will have my own money for every time.
For you, it wasn't feminism. It was out of need. You could see that you needed to make your own path to be able to provide for yourself and not rely on anyone else.
Yeah.
Starting with $20 in your pocket, you had a vision of selling scarves. Can you tell us a little bit about that? And also, maybe you can touch on your first major setback and some of the lessons that taught you.
Yeah, this is another story in my life. About then, I cried, of course. But now I consider that it was a cool experience rather than a failure in this time. I started with $20, bought 3 scarves, resold them for 3 times the price. And within a month, I made my first something similar like $800 or $1,000 simply by reselling various accessories on my social network. It was VK, something like Facebook. In Russia, we have other social network, name it Vkontakte. Maybe some of our guests will know this network. So I sold the scarves and other accessories on this network. And for a whole year, I worked like this, placing orders at night and in the morning taking parcels. I delivered them to customers by bus by myself. I didn't particularly tell my parents what I was doing, saving up all the money for my future store. I did it every time on the night and every time on the way to the university. And a year later, I opened a small store like 20 square meters and ordered goods for $10,000. That's when the first big problem was happened with me, because the goods from China simply did not arrive. And the supplier with whom I worked for 6 months simply didn't get in touch with me. Now I think that this gave me growth, because I decided that I needed to sell goods which we produce by ourselves in our country, and not to depend on suppliers. And this is the next step on my way in the business, I think. And I think this time was the first big problem that I have, but this one, the first time when I grew up.
What a story, though. My goodness. First of all, I love your resourcefulness. So you decided, I'm going to make my own money. You found scarves and accessories. You would buy them and then resell them and get on the bus, go deliver. This is not just easy. I mean, you are studying at the same time. So using every spare minute to get your business started and saving up your money until it was $10,000 you lost, ordering from somebody who just ghosted you and never delivered the product. So a really hard lesson to learn. No doubt. My goodness, what a start in your career. But you said that was a good learning experience. And then you went on and you started some new stores. It was in high fashion, as I understand, high-end fashion. How did you identify the demand for high-end fashion in Kazakhstan and manage the rapid expansion of your stores?
The second step of the business was these 7 stores we opened with my husband, but it was the time after 2 years from this story. By that time, I was married, already engaged in the production of jewelry and sold them for $100 per piece. And this is the small story of my small business. I don't tell anyone about this. But it was necessary to create a more serious business with my husband. And we decided that we can organize events for small designers like me who made something similar like maybe jewelry, maybe some designer clothes. And we decided that we will make an events and we'll make a sales amount artisans for them. And we will invite some customers for these events also. The success was overwhelming because it took from us like 2 weeks from idea to implementation. And then, if I'm not mistaken, like 1,500 people attended the event in one evening those times.
Wow, that's incredible. You did this in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was like we were lying on the bed at night and we thought about something big, what we want to create from us. We thought about the stores or events or something like this, and we had one idea to make this event. And this idea was so huge and so inspirational for us. This is the reason that's why from idea to making this event gone only 2 weeks at all, I think. People began to ask where they can buy these products on a regular basis when they were on the exhibition. And they didn't want to wait for the next exhibition. We immediately realized that we need to open the stores. And it was like very fast growing up. In 1.5 years, it becomes from 1 to 7 stores in different cities. It's not worthy, but we have invested all our funds in the opening of new stores that time.
What an incredible story, and what an incredible fast expansion to go from 1 to 7 in 1.5 years. What are some of the challenges you had during this expansion?
The very first and biggest problem that we were opened the store after store, and the demand was gay, but the goods were literally incountable units because we took rental payments from the designers to display them in our store, and they thought that the designers needed it too. We was entrepreneurs and we had a business, and for us it was a really big business, but the designers had only the creativity. It's like when inspiration came, they came up with one dress and gave it for tailoring for 5 pieces. You are waiting for these 5 pieces for selling them, and the designers are waiting to become a millionaire. But that doesn't work. For a year, we were looking for really cool designers with large volumes, but it didn't happen. And then we decided that it is the time for us to produce clothes by ourselves. There are shops there is a team, there are customers and demand. And I remember we sent off something similar, 200 summer blouses for the first batch and sell a small price for them. If I'm not mistaken, we sold everything in 1 or 2 weeks in those times. And after 4 months, we built up a workshop and produced from 1,000 until 1,200 and something similar like these units of goods per month in it. And we worked with them 5 years.
Really fast expansion, really having to also pivot. So having to think, okay, what's the next thing? What's going to work? What's the demand? And pivoting and changing as you could see where things are going. Really incredible. So then how did you end up in Dubai?
We worked with our chain, with our stores, with designer clothes until 2021. Then we closed up everything because I thought that I do this business 7 years at all and I wanted to grow up. I wanted to make something better. I wanted to make something bigger. All of last 3 years, I dreamed about something international. And I started to thought about the treatment salons for girls because it will be easier than to make the clothes by ourselves, than to produce it by ourselves in our country, because open the stores or opening the salons, it will be easier because you are just making the decision of where you will stand, taking the office or rental a shop, contracting there. And after you are making the command and hiring people who will work with you, and that's all. In the dresses, in the preparing clothes, it took time from 5 to 6 months for preparing the clothes and after 1 or 2 months for selling them. The time is very, how I can say.
And a completely different business model that you will be following for the salons. So that's very exciting.
Yeah, I decided that I should make something bigger, make some bigger chain in international. And the first city I wanted to enter, it was Dubai. In the January when I came here, after 2 months living here, I thought and I recognized the opening of the one salon here will be very costly. It looks similar, more than $3,100 for opening one salon. And I thought that this is the very high cost for business because last my businesses I opened $1 or $2 and $5,000. For example, for one store, we spent it not more than $5,000 or $7,000. Then I decided that I should find out the partners, that I should find out other business with whom I can open it more easily than it's now. I tried to find out something and I followed the girl named Tatiana Bibik from Russia. And she has her international big chain, includes more than 200 schools of musical classes for adults. And I thought that this is the not bad model for business for opening here. I tried to call them. So we have their meeting each other 30 minutes. And after they gave me the potential investors who want to open these classes here in Dubai with somebody like franchisee like me. So then we decided that we will meet with Leonid. We met with him also 30 minutes and not more. And we decided that we want to open not 1, 2, 3 or 5, that we want to open more than 100 schools here in the Middle East. And Leonid becomes my prime partner here. So this is the one other story of successful for me.
Fantastic. So now we've moved away from the salons, talking about the project to do with music. So the name that I've got for this project is Not School's Drums. So can you explain that name to us, please?
Okay, why it named not schools of drum? Because when we are telling that this is the school, some people think that we're teaching kids. But we are not about the kids. We are about adults, and we are about hobbying. We are not just teaching. We are making a hobby and making a community for adults who wants to, after work, to come to us and having a relaxed, having a great community and taking new friends, for example, because Dubai is so big and has so different nationalities. I know by myself that to find out the friends here, it's a little bit difficult for everyone.
So this will create some kind of community as well for people to get together with like-minded folk. And it's to learn to play instruments only, or is it for singing and dancing and acting, or is it instruments only?
It's like having enjoy with the music and dancing and instruments also. So we create a community for people who want to be inspired, enjoy life in sustainable ways. Because we all get tired after work or after work of our projects, and we want to spend evenings and have friends in interesting company a couple times a week. We think that making music, having enjoy, making dancing maybe in our school, and spending the time with friends, developing new skills by teaching, it's better proposal than just sitting in cafe as it's often the case.
You are planning to open 100 of these schools, or not schools, I guess we should say. Is that all over the UAE?
It will be in the UAE, in the Saudi, in the Qatar, in the Oman, and the other countries in Middle East.
Excellent. And how many students do you plan to have in each location?
In each location, it should be like not less than 200 students every month. In Dubai, for example, we want to open from 7 until 12 not schools.
And the time that it's open, is it open all day, or is it only open in the evenings, on weekends, or what?
No, it's opening from 10 a.m. until 12 p.m. because our teachers will teach the customers until 10 p.m. But after 10 p.m. until 12 p.m., they can come and just enjoy playing the instruments for free.
Sounds really exciting. I'm really looking forward to visiting one of the not schools to see how it all works. Sounds fantastic.
Of course. I have no idea, of course.
Balancing entrepreneurship and leadership requires exceptional skills. How do you manage to maintain a cohesive team across different store locations? Now you're doing international projects. How do you manage your team?
The one way how we can manage and how we can work for a long time with people, it's to know their values. I work with people on the level of their values. When hiring a person, it's important that the international values and the principles correspond to the set of qualities that are necessary for a particular position. You don't need to force or once again motivate or direct. You just give the task, the deadline for its completion, and the reward for speed. For example, all stores in different cities with closures work independently in this way. I didn't go there more than 1 year in each of the store. And I think that the working by the values with people is the best way to have a good team.
Excellent insight. So you find people that has similar values so that you're on the same page, and then you don't have to be micromanaging them, checking on them all the time, because you know that they're going to do whatever is required of them.
Yeah, because it's important for them also, not only for me.
Building a multi-million-dollar business surely comes with moments of self-doubt. How do you overcome those doubts and keep your vision steadfast?
I have sometimes of self-doubt also, but rather on the contrary, my belief is that everything in the world is unstable. Also in business like this, I set a goal, go towards it, but change occur. And then my main advantage is that easily adapt to situations and continue on my way. This is the reason why I'm here now.
My last question in this section is, your story is a testament to the extraordinary heights one can achieve through determination and hard work. What legacy do you want to leave behind, and what impact do you hope your endeavors will have on future generations of entrepreneurs?
Everything what I want to tell that women can do everything, and even more than they imagine about themselves. And this is the main thing, what I bring to the masses. And I will not try of repeating it. Even you are 17 with $20 a girl, and you can become an entrepreneur. And also with that, you can make an international market, even you're a woman. This is the one thing I'm bringing to the masses, I think.
It's a lovely legacy to leave for future generations as well. Thank you so much for sharing your story, Gaziza. It's absolutely inspiring. But now we've come to the segment of our show where I'll ask you some rapid fire questions, so our version of a game show. Are you ready?
Okay.
What is your favorite drink?
It's Pepsi Diet.
Okay. Who is your biggest inspiration?
I haven't one person who inspired me. Sometimes I open my YouTube and I write the most rich or richest people in the world. And I'm seeing some videos about these people, and all of them inspiring me in different cases.
Very interesting. Heels or sneakers?
Sneakers.
What is one piece of advice you would give to a young entrepreneur?
Just don't stop if you will have some problems on your way. Just don't stop. Just make the different way. Even every time you have some problems or you're not believing to the way where you're going now. If you have problem now, just start to go by different way, but don't stop.
Don't stop. Look for alternative solutions. I like that. Good advice. What is one thing you do every day, no matter how busy you are?
Taking time with my child.
Lovely. I like that. Well, thank you very much. That was the end of the game show. It wasn't too difficult. Before we wrap up, we'd like to do our green pill moment. So could you please share an inspiring or life-changing experience that you have gone through, your green pill moment?
I think that this moment was from my first story for today. It was from the day when I was 7 years old and when I decided that I will have my own money.
It was at 7. Okay. Wow. Incredible.
Yeah, because I decided that I will have my own money and I will never work for someone when I was 7 years old. This decision gave me this green pill, I think, for all my life.
And then by the time you were 17, that's when you started your first business.
Yeah.
An incredible story. Somebody so determined from such a young age, already with such a clear vision. You don't often hear that. I can say I've spoken to many people, and it is quite remarkable to meet somebody like you.
Thank you.
As I said, your story is nothing short of extraordinary. From Kazakhstan to the global stage, you've conquered challenges, defied odds, and created $1 million empire in just a few years. It's a tale of tenacity, innovation, and unwavering determination. And I'm sure our audience is going to really enjoy this conversation.
Of course. I enjoy everything what happens in my life. Maybe that's why I'm a very positive person, even with some challenges happen in my life.
I think that's the key, right? Is to always be positive no matter what you're facing. I think that's excellent.
Yeah.
Before we say goodbye, could you please tell our listeners where they can find and follow you? And we'll also put this in the show notes.
I have my social network in Instagram, my own page. It's Gaziza MAG, and you can find me.
Excellent. So do you say Gaziza? I've been saying Gaziza. Am I saying it wrong?
No, my name is Gaziza, but my friends call me Gaziza.
Gaziza. I believe you've also got a nickname, Gazi Mag.
Yeah, this is the Mag. It's like first letters of the name my grandpa. And I think this is the part of the word like magic. And I want to inspire people like everything that you do in your life, it's going to be like magic.
A very cool nickname to have. I like it very much. Well, thank you again so much for joining me today. It's been absolutely fascinating and inspiring. I wish you all the very best. And for sure, I'll be watching and following your journey and all the new stores that you are planning on opening in the future.
Thank you so much. And thank you for inviting me here because it was very interesting and, very inspiring for me also.
Thank you so much. And you did excellently. So thank you for that.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye.
If you enjoy our conversations, please like and subscribe. See you next Wednesday.